Susan,
Much for me. I'm getting.
oh, that's nice, Susan. That's the one you're doing today?
I don't know. I'm just playing around. Which door am I going to do? There's so many doors.
Yeah, literally.
Like, how do you pick when you have too many choices? I said, let me just start. And I don't even know whether this looks the style to do or what. Honestly,
That's really intriguing, that door. Oh my God.
like Aditi is so calm and she takes class. So
Uh,
she knows what she's going to do next and all that. Now here I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, what shall I do? Should it be this style, that style? Should I go into more detail, less detail? All a bit too much.
really, I mean, absolutely like overwhelmed with choice.
Overwhelmed. That's the word for it.
And this Naga home door that she's put is also quite interesting with all the bulls on it.
I've got too many devices out here. Keep my finger on any one.
Tarini is like a door lady, like the bag lady.
I know
Oh God.
lots of cat lady, bag lady, all that. Same. Too many pictures of those.
Mm.
Except that they are really pretty. They're really, really pretty.
Yeah, they're really pretty.
It's amazing. Like yesterday, I was just thinking when I was looking at all these doors, I was thinking how much, how creative people have been
Yeah.
around the world to take up something as so mundane as a door and make a big deal of it. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a piece of wood, close and opening, nothing more. But people have done so much to it.
Hmm.
Looking for a quote on doors. Don't too light with this color. Sorry, I've spotlit myself very conveniently, and now I don't know who all are here. And we should get started. It's
Ritika is joining in. Zai said she's joining in 2 minutes.
okay.
There's Ritika. Hi, Ritika.
Hello. Hi, Susan. I'm really excited to have a class.
You are excited. I am worried.
You don't have to be worried, you know all of us.
How would you like to take class, Ritika? Come. Like
So
Aditi.
my biggest challenge, when you talked about the doors was, I mean, like I just saw, what you're painting. I mean, yeah, how much size probably we should make, so it gets that charm also because sometimes we see so many motifs on a door or something that we get so fascinated we want to draw, but then we don't know, should I draw a big one or should I draw a small one? Maybe share your thoughts on that also today.
Honestly, my natural tendency is to get very detailed. That is like naturally it comes to me. I may not intend to get very detailed, but eventually it happens. I start off saying, okay, I'll just draw a basic structure, and then before I know it, I'm drawing all the in between structures and in between shapes and whatnot, right? So, so like Aditi says, I think a lot has to do with timing yourself. One thing is you could time yourself and say that okay, in 10 minutes only. Now, whatever detail you can fit in 10 minutes, go ahead and do it. But with that, we put a hard stop on the time. The other would be probably space. Like this is something that I'm finding at least. If I tell myself I'm not going to draw a big door, I'm only
Hmm.
going to draw this much, I can't fit all the details there. I just
Ah,
same concept as time. Basically, it's another parameter like time.
ah,
So I think if you restrict each of these parameters, you will automatically draw within the
yeah.
confinement of what you have, right? So that is what I feel it is. I mean, it could
Maybe
be
I can experiment with few features and see. I time once, the time and once I time the
one
space.
space. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, maybe that will help me.
yeah,
But thank you.
Could also be with the what you're doing now. For example, if you're drawing a postcard, then it would be nice to fit a full door on one postcard rather than try and do two doors. And then in that case, you get a larger space to do more details.
yeah,
But if you're doing it as a part of a travel illustration, then it would obviously become smaller because you'll want to fit in other things or the rest of the building or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Correct. Yeah. So that is yeah. That is that. Those are factors. that will help you not get too detailed. But still automatically, I'm telling you, even in small space, no, you will try. You will try if you can until someone grabs your sheet off, and says, okay, that's it, or tells you get up and go. Otherwise,
Like last minute
why
writing at an
not?
exam.
Yeah, why not put that little bit more? You could, no, there is space to put that little bit. So that kind of stuff. Now, for example, I'll talk about this door that I just tried right now. It's there, the blue doors. If you look among the doors, this door should be there in the list. So I was just looking, if you look, you will notice that first of all, proportions wise, my door has become like one short wide door instead of the longer door that it is in the picture. There is a blue door. I'm not screen sharing today because if I do screen share, no, I'm going to go completely crazy. But I'll show you my phone here. So I'm looking at this door. Now, a door like this, if you notice, there is so much of detail on the side. I can't fit it only. With the size I have here, this is what I meant by restricted size. So if I have only this much space and I have a micron pen, even with my finest micron pen, it's going to be a big challenge to draw in these little details on the side of the door or over here, these. I would love to do it, but I'm not doing it because there's just no space. So what I've done is taken the brush and put a piece of blue, and that's it, done. So that is what I meant by space restriction. So even in this space, some things are larger details, some things are really, really tiny. So if you have this space restriction, you will only do the details you can actually fit. After that, you will abandon the rest of the details. That is what will happen with less space. But the other thing is, if we want to go into the details if we really want to do a detailed study of a door, then you really have to get into proportions also. We have to factor looking at the door and trying to get the squares and the rectangles we are using as our basic grid proportions right, because otherwise our details will not all fit. That is a given, right? So we are going to find issues with, oh, this leaf came, but the flower wasn't possible, things like that. So that is a different style. We could do that as well. But probably the best way to start would be, like Aditi always says, loose. Take a medium like your fine liner, or even the, what do you call it, color pencil. Take a color pencil. If your door is a red door, take a red color pencil, and let's start just drawing the door for what it is, for what you see, the basic structure as your eye sees it. And then we can either leave it in that pencil color itself, or we'll apply watercolor on top, just the basic watercolor. So that means either you can keep the color of the door alone, nothing else, or the background and leave the door as it is. Lots of options that way. So let me just see. I'm going to do this as if I'm doing it for the first time. I'm not as if I am doing it for the first time. So I'm going to just wing it. And you
Hi,
guys are
Susan.
welcome to wing it with me.
Susan,
Ah,
Archana,
hi, Archana.
you, I, you have to pin your
Oh, yes.
screen.
No, it was pinned actually. I could not see everybody who came. That's why I unpinned. I spotlighted.
Okay, fine.
When I spotlit, I did not get to see who all joined. Okay.
So,
All right.
Susan, which door are you going to do? The blue one?
Oh, no. This is not. I am going to do a door. A little off. You know what? Today you'll have to cut me some slack, because I am like, I've got more devices than I have got a book and pen paint. Okay, there's like bizarre things over here. Something's going to fall before class gets over. Okay, so okay, yeah. So we can try one of. Let me just look at the list of so many doors. No, let's take something not too difficult initially. In the sense, difficult means nothing is difficult, really, honestly. It's just that we have to take something that we can take a pen and start illustrating. So I'm going to go with, I'd like to do this one. It's not a straightforward door. It's angular. and we can be allowed to make some perspective mistakes here. If you don't get it right, don't worry, the picture was not straight. So maybe we could try this. I think this is one of the doors that Tarni has shared.
Yeah, that's the one from France.
Oh, is it? Very pretty. So today, since we are doing only doors, we'll try and limit what we do around the doors. Okay, we can kind of let it blur beyond the basic structure of the door. And we'll start also with one of these quick sketches only, so that we get familiar with, or not familiar, it's I'd rather say loosen the hand. Okay, I'm not going into proportions. Sorry, I have 3 kids at home. Okay, anyone comes in, don't get worried. I'm not going to draw this with any grid right now. For now, I'm just going to draw what I see over here, and I will do it freehand. Huh? No measurements. So let's start over here. Here, corner of the book as always. Now, all I want to maintain is a sense of perspective, just a sense of it. So on one side, I have a slightly wider, longer part of the door, and there's a shorter part because of the perspective. So let's just factor that in. Okay. And then there is a brick here. Now the brick, I'm just drawing a dotted line for the brick, where the brick ends. And then I will just draw my bit here. Perspective. Now something, if you look at my basic drawing, you'll notice that my top is looking rather funny. So here I have to have a line that is converging. So let's consider drawing the bottom over here. Now the bricks. So we have brick structure. Now the bricks too, remember, keep that angle in mind and try not to draw something very straight, because as you draw the brick straight, you're going to clash with the perspective. Okay. So if you want, you can do something like draw the lines so that you can maintain the perspective, lines of perspective. Okay. So I'm just drawing tentative lines. Then I can complete my brick. Here in this case, I have a brick that is slightly bent. Rounded, some are rounded. Okay. Now I have a brick here that's slightly broken. We can add in a few details about the leaves we are seeing here. Foliage, slight, very slight. Just a hint. Now here there is a slight arc, very slight. Uneven line, if you notice. So hold the pen a little away. You have foliage here too. Squiggly lines indicating some foliage. Now, same thing over here on the side when we're doing the bricks. Keep perspective in mind. It is coming thinner to the side. So if it helps, you can just draw the lines. I find that is those kind of lines make it easier for me to see whether I'm on the right track before I've drawn the entire brick. So becomes
हं? कुठे जाणार आवरून घ्या की असं करू नका माझी बर जावा रूम केले का माझी हं? झाडून पुसून घ्या हो. एवढं करा आणि जावा पटकन
somewhere here is where the small brick is in. Then you have a very jagged end to this brick, which has now become, see, I've elongated the wrong brick. This is the one that should have been short. These kind of changes, don't let it hamper your painting of the door. It's really not going to make a difference. Your door will still look very much like the door you're intending. Okay. Now here I'm noticing lines on the door, like planks put together, which are not very straight. One is a little bit crooked like this. One that has come straighter. And at the foot of the door, you have definitely some rot. So the rot is a good thing to show. Show some, really does show some character to the door we are drawing. You have a little bit of foliage here, some here. Okay, what is something here? Extending the foliage. Okay, a little bit more over here. I'm just going to add in because it just completes the look. Here too, just to put in a few stones. Rounded, somewhat rounded. That's it. I'm not going to do much more. Now we can add in the details. You can, if you feel that color is not so great in this particular case, you can choose to do monochroma. Monochrome is a great way to start. You don't have to worry about color. You're simply adding dark and light and giving it some depth with dark and light. So if you all want to try monochrome, that's a great idea. You could even consider monochrome in a color that is not here. For example, like I may do this in red, and there is no red anywhere here, right? So your choice. If you feel that you want to stay true to the colors here, find a yellow, maybe a yellow ochre or a raw sienna will be great for the door, followed by our regular gray color, which will go around for the uh, the stones around. You can do that. That's also fine. Okay. But let me try. I'm experimenting. I'm going to try just one color. And the color will be blue because blue.
So blue for the wall, Susan?
Blue for everything. Everything. I'm not using any other color.
Okay.
Just experimenting, huh? Just experimenting. For all you know, this will turn out to be really horrible. But I have nothing to lose. So said Aditi, huh? I've just taken cerulean blue because there's plenty of cerulean blue on my palette.
Like a very watery shade of cerulean blue.
Yeah. Just watery. I have found that the darker portions are around these particular blocks. So I'm just going around these dark places with cerulean blue. Okay. All right. Now here I will also add some cerulean blue here, but little deeper tone. I'm going to just make it a little deeper. It's little dark. I'm also going to put a little bit of color here to show the shadow of the plants that are around. Now here I've got some darkness in terms of the door is quite, so let me just see if I can add darkness here at the base. Okay. One more place I will use a bit of cerulean blue is here. I see a shadow here. And then I see the same kind of shadow over here. Now this I may have to lighten because it's a little dark. Okay. It shows the sunlight. That sunlight is falling on that side. At the same time, if you feel like you want to add reflections of whatever stones are showing over here, please go ahead and add that in now. Let me deepen this part. Now dry brush, if you all haven't used dry brush, this is a nice place to try dry brush. Dip your brush in a little paint and tap it on a on your tissue. Okay? Just like dab it slightly. And with the very little amount of paint, run your brush on this part. For those that scratchy mark that you want, that effect that you want of a very scratchy looking stone. You can do dry brush with a little more pigment than less pigment. What happens with drying the brush off on your this thing is if you use watery paint and you tap off the brush, the color here, likely you will see very light color, too light. Okay, but if you take a deeper pigment, maybe from the cakes itself, instead of taking it from the palette, and then tap it off, okay, over here, then try. You're going to get some quite dark, scratchy lines. And I want those scratchy lines at these places also, where the stones are. Very dry, very, very dry brush. The same dry brush with more pigment and less pigment is good for the base of the dough where it's starting to show signs of rotting, wood is rotting. Okay? It really gives you that effect of rotting wood or wood that's going bad. Slight marks on this. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the dry brush on the camera. Yeah, that's it. If you feel like putting in the color for the foliage, you can, but I feel like it may darken the whole image and then we are stuck with too much of blue. So this is fine. I'm just leaving it this way. This could have been way more colorful, huh? Just so you know. Can you see the color? I'm not sure you can see. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, we can see the
It's
color.
fine, Susan. We can see the shades and everything.
Yeah, you can
It's
see it.
looking very nice. Yeah.
On my screen, no, it's looking like gray. I don't know why. It's looking
Yeah, we can see it clearly.
okay. It's blue, huh, by the way. I tried
Yeah.
blue. Okay. If this is not looking so great, let's move on to another dough. Just trying to see which something bright.
Can you just give 1 minute just to finish this?
Sure. I'm just trying to analyze what to do with this one. Whether I should do color pencil. What's the harm? Let's try color pencil. Should I zoom in? Not doing much. I'm just like eyeballing this. It's looking like quite the angle at which the photo is taken is such that it's not straight in front, and yet it is a frontal view.
There's another very nice red above that, Susan.
Which one? Let me see.
Just above this, there's another very nice red one with black running putties across it. Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah,
This one.
just see if you like it.
Yeah.
It's shared on the group.
Yeah.
No, you decide. You decide. Just thought since you wanted a bright one.
Yeah. No, this is great. This is actually what will happen with a picture like this. It's very easy to do because it's so.
Oh, okay.
It is so proportionate. It's
Oh, okay.
it's perfectly proportionate. So
All right.
Why not? Let's try this. There is no harm. Proportion is all. The moment you have something in proportion, it takes a lot of tension off you because we love proportion. We love to take things. The mind loves equal balance on everything, right? So
Yeah.
proportionate stuff is always welcome. So I'm not taking this at face value in terms of proportion. Roughly, this looks like a square to me. This part till here looks like a square. So I'm going to just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm just keeping a square-like shape in mind. And beyond that, I'm going to just continue the arch. The arch looks somewhat, it's not very sharp. Okay, we have a center. So this square should be divided into let's keep this part here. Roughly, we have a line here, one here. Okay, I'm just roughly dividing this. What I want to do right now, technically, is draw the squares in between. Okay, if you look at the picture, there are lots of not squares, rectangles in between. And I'm trying to see if I could draw the rectangles. So I have one here like this. And let it be wonky. That's the whole point of. There's something nice about wonky. And here in the top part, I noticed that there is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there are 4. I don't know how this is going to look. So you may end up with a really silly door, which is fine. see what happens. Okay, I'm going to go in with a little brown now. Let me see if I just continue with red. No. Now the upper part has got some brick layout that is interesting. Somewhere here starts, the column start. So just drawing lines here. You have almost outlining, framing the door. You have these. And how many? You could draw a few of these. Some lines are closer than other lines, and try to keep that kind of a gap. Don't make all the curves identically spaced. What I want to definitely include is this. Starting from here, there are these lines radiating outward. Those are nice to capture. You'll notice I'm not doing this, not counting the number of lines and doing this precisely at all. It is just to give you an idea that these are bricks around. All right, so here we have to draw the rest of our space around the door. The last thing we need is, this picture has got, and we can't see the rest of it, but we have a part where the last curve has got extensions sideways. Okay, so if it's here on this side, I'm assuming it's there on the other side as well. So I'm going to draw one last curve or arch and show that it goes this way. Yeah. And this can be extended. There is some sort of a skirting here. Even this arch seems to have lines. Huh? That's it. So I'm leaving it at this. Let me see if I can add some watercolor to this. So the door is red. And then we have these black, and some black bobs too. Let's see. First of all, let's put the shadows in, because this may be the better thing to do. Using raw sienna. Raw sienna, if it's raw, is it raw sienna or raw umber? Raw umber maybe. It is raw sienna. Raw sienna.
Then sorry, which one is raw sienna?
Do we have raw sienna? We don't have raw sienna. Okay, if you don't have raw sienna, use wait, sorry, I'm using the 18 palette, not the sorry, 24 palette. So if you don't have raw sienna,
Is it burnt umber?
burnt umber, but dull it with a little bit of
Black.
no. Burnt umber will become a little reddish, right? So I'm thinking burnt umber and yellow ochre. Make a little wash type of burnt umber, yellow ochre mix. A wash like, otherwise it will become quite dark.
I think the one which is beside white and black in between, that color might
Amber.
be
Amber. That's amber.
amber.
I think it's raw amber.
Okay.
I don't
The
know. It's not my
liquid-
palette, no. I have this. I have.
It's raw amber.
Raw sienna and raw umber. But if you
Okay.
don't have that, you can use our burnt umber, which is our regular one. Burnt umber and what is this? Yellow. Just make a mild wash of it. It should give you similar colors. I'm not saying the same. Definitely not the same because mine is definitely.
Yeah, I think raw umber looks okay. Yeah, the one Archana said.
You have raw umber.
It's there on the 18 palette. I mean, on the 18
I see.
set of colors.
Now I'm just using a watery shade to color in this. I'm just trying to think what to do with the same thing, but a little bit, wee bit darker. I'm going to put a little bit of black into my raw umber. In your case, into that mix of brown and yellow. Just a wee bit of black so that I can get a little bit of darkness here. I want this innermost one, no, is a little dark. But again, I'm only running the dark on one side at the moment. And on this side, I'm running it on the inner part. Don't do much on the right. I'm keeping the shadow on the left one. Now here, if you look at the red, you have a shadow. The deeper red is on the inner part. So let me, don't do this with me. Let me see if it works out. Just watch whether this makes any difference. I'm only putting a shade of scarlet on the left side. I'm leaving a little bit of white on the other side. Not sure if it will make such a big difference. My point. And then we have that black in between, which we have to add. Black meaning you see this part? Shouldn't use a, maybe I should use a black sketch pen, black pencil color. We have those little rivets on the door.
What if you use burnt umber with something?
On what, the rivets?
Yeah, and also the whatever you're saying is black, no? It's like a deep brown, is it? Or is
Deep
it
brown
black?
is also, yeah, it will work. But given that we already have a lot of brown here, I'm wondering
That's
whether
why you're using black, huh?
that's why I'm wondering whether the brown
Yeah.
will clash already with the
Yeah,
edges
yeah,
of the-
yeah.
So I'm just
It's
trying to,
like a deep gray or something, no?
exactly. And pencil color SAB, it is not pencil color is not a very jet black. It's not,
Yeah, yeah.
you should have a nice, it is not so bad. Yeah, it seems to be okay. at the bottom here. Because we can't see the rivets anymore, there's no more detail you can put. You probably can put circles like this. This is so basic, no? I mean, imagine looking like my daughter do this. I'll just take the gray that I have, our Aditi's gray. Run a gray over it. Wash, this is like wash. I can see slight shadows over here, which I'd like to make. So here there is a shadow here. There is also a shadow on this side. That's it, I think. Now you can take a little bit of the yellow ochre and brown mix, burnt umber mix, and just press down the brush at the base. Yeah. Not very pleased. But it's a dough. I think what's happened is we've got too much of white space in between. That's where it could be better.
Actually, probably Susan, you just needed to do like a light wash of scarlet and then done a darker thing, no?
Correct.
With shadows.
Yeah. So this probably may have been better with with a pen itself. So had I done a wash, we could have marked the squares with a pen, and that would have still stood. Now, what's going to happen is if I put a wash and then put pencil color over it, you're not probably going to see all the lines. So it's probably best with a pen only. You're right. But with a pencil color, not too bad, not too shabby. Just doesn't tell you that it's a nice bright red though. I'm just trying to see which. Should we do one that is a little detailed, meaning?
So, Susan, for the shadow of the red, you've used just a plain scarlet, or you've added
Plain
something
scarlet. I did not do anything to it. Nothing.
dark on this.
That is what I'm saying. Because it is white paper, no, that scarlet is looking quite bright. But the rest of the area, which is white, should not look white. It should look actually red, right? Because it's a red dough. So now what's
So
looking?
we can try doing a wash with the scarlet first and then do that.
Sorry.
Yeah, then you will get it.
You know?
Yeah.
Do a wash with the scarlet first.
That's what I was thinking. But now that I've done it, I don't want to ruin it. I'm wondering whether that will ruin the. Hey, what have we got to lose? No? Let me try. What have we got to lose? I'm like a super light scarlet wash. Huh? This is. We'll do it on one side of the dough and let me just try. You can watch and see if it's worth. Okay, now this side of the dough, the left side of the dough looks red. After it dries, I can probably go in with
Maybe burnt umber with crimson. I tried that and I really like the effect.
what did you do? Burnt umber?
Burnt umber and crimson a bit.
Burnt umber and crimson. Okay. And you try to do shadows with that?
Shadows with that.
Okay, let me just see.
Yeah, that will give a good It'll give depth.
Just see. Bad, Ritika. Not bad.
Matlab, I'm liking the effect of how the door looks because of that. Because I think what really helped was creating those boxes because we could have a little white space. And now with burnt umber and
Crimson.
crimson, those boxes are popping up
Mhm.
because of the shadow.
Because of the shadow. Yeah, no, definitely the shadow is required because the door is actually heavily red and the shadows
Yeah.
are deeper, even deeper red than that. Correct?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
here now with the pencil sketch, it's looking very, very light, too light. But
Mm.
that also is an effect because it's pencil, right? The medium is not meant to be dark.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The medium itself is not meant to be dark, so that is permissible. But if you were doing this with watercolor, you're right. Entirely watercolor, we could have made this a lot deeper. And then the
Yeah.
shadows would be almost like you said, crimson, and this thing would look really good.
Good.
Okay. Let us any recommendations on a door, or should we try this one with a little more detail?
Yeah, this one is nice. The colors also.
Colors are very bright. I'm only going because we all we are Indians.
I'm doing
Sabha
this one
color.
actually. I think this is quite nice. The proportions also are nice.
No, if anyone else has any other suggestions, please go ahead and let me know. I'm just going by. I'm like a kid being asked to pick a toy, like from a Lego box. Which Lego piece will I pick? Like honestly, which Lego piece will I pick? This was very pretty, no? You know what I can imagine about this? I can imagine doing all this kind of detail in a brown pencil. Keep the white, draw the whole thing with brown, and then use the blue, only the blue door or blue-green door will be painted. The rest of it is all going to be just pencil. Yeah, pencil because it's all brown. If you look at the picture, it's all brown. Okay, we have a little time, so why don't we just try this out? Huh? I'm just going to give because I'm itching to try. I'm really, really itching to try. I'm going to try what is today again. I'm boldly going in a pencil color, brown color pencil color. Roughly, I have a square. I'm looking at this part. This is one square, and this is another square, and little more than that. Okay, so keep that in mind. We have a square. And one more square. Very rough. This is a very rough. Don't. It's going to be off proportion even in spite of me counting in all this space. Okay. So this is the space, and in this first square, one. One, two, in this first square, I have this piece. I mark the center. This is my first square, so I mark this point. And then I do this ornate thing. So one more thing I want to do is there is a proper border here. So let me do two lines. Okay. There's a proper border. So let's just do these two lines. There is a circle here, and a circle. And then there is, okay. Now for the, this is going to be tricky. We want to have one curve, 2, 3, 4, before we have this. One, two. Okay, I'm going to deepen in the color here, okay? Just so we all brown, by the way, my brown color pencil. And then go have fun. We have a flower here, 4-petal flower, 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by a multi-petal flower. This thing seems to have a border, by the way. Okay. Then we have one of those acanthus leaf-like things. Same thing over here, some kind of a leaf. That's it, I'm not leaving anything. Now, one thing I do want to put are these little marks. They seem to be very clearly evident on the border, right? I'm not zooming in. This is another thing I don't want to do. I don't want to zoom in too much because when we start zooming in, I think Aditi tells us this all the time. But when we start zooming in, we tend to want to put all the details in the space that we did not leave for those details. So let's keep that natural tendency, by the way, when we have a phone. Artists of olden days did not have all this, so they did not make this mistake. Not bad, no? Abhi, now we are going to consider, okay, while we are at this, let me just get a, this is only this part of the door. We have more ornate stuff here. It's begging to be drawn. So let's again, what I'll do is I'll mark out the spaces lightly with a pencil. See, we have an arch over here, okay? This is the arch we want to maintain. So you can lightly draw this in a pencil. I know it may not be very visible. I'm only drawing this as a guide for myself so that I don't end up calculating all the details. So just an arc in pencil. But what I want to do on this arc is I want to have this detail put in. Right? 1, 2. This is quite wide. 1, 2, 3. 4. Very similar to the door, what we were doing with the door. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, almost a replica actually. Yeah, and after that we come down the door. You have a vertical line here. And what we have to maintain is this upward line. Okay, because now we have a vertical line here. We have a vertical line here. And somewhat somewhere here we have a horizontal line. Here we have a flower which is a little more detailed than flower on the dough. This too seems to have a... Sorry, what did you say? For broadband services. Press 3 for landing services. Press 4 for entry and mass and wing services. Press 5 for booking new FTTH connection. Or press 1 for complete booking. Press 2 re-enter India. Filigree is actually making it look nice, no? I mean, slightly larger, so we'll have to just draw in some detail. The challenge is to make sure that both sides are done, if possible, simultaneously, one after the other, because it's very easy to do one and then struggle with the next. Quite tricky. Okay, I'm not going into too much more detail because this can get the issue we're talking about continuously just doing the same thing and adding more and more detail is going to happen. I will, however, put a slight inner line, if you notice here, so that we can add depth. Stays throughout, I think, almost all the way through, you will find an inner line. Same way here, an inner line. We'll add some gray to it when we are adding watercolor to the door. There's a line here. Eventually, the door will go further down. We'll stop with this only. I'm leaving these ends as it is. Why? Because I want to take a green pencil and just mark out the spaces before we add watercolor to the center. So we have a center line. And here we have some tentatively over here like this. Okay, we have marks that allow us to get triangle. Then there is a mark here that ends over here, so roughly here. Okay, this gives us another portion. Here, okay. Thereafter, I think most of them are evenly spaced. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to fit 4 of these. This is very lightly I'm drawing because this is not really counting for, I'm just accommodating, calculating the space, correct? Okay, so our green door has to come till here. Okay, which means our brown border should reach this point, stop somewhere here, and then we have a line. We have a line here. Okay, and we have an outward. That's it. This is what I wanted. I wanted a proportion. Okay, now I'm going to try a blue-green color, which is, I think Aditi's made this with us before. Cerulean blue and is it emerald green? No. Yeah, emerald green. I think everyone has emerald green, right? We have it on all our palettes. We have emerald green on all palettes.
Yeah, we have, okay. We have Viridian
Okay.
and the other green along with sap green.
Green, emerald green, and I think one more, no?
I
Emerald
don't
green is there, right? We can try emerald green. If everyone has emerald green, try emerald green with a little cerulean.
yes,
I
it's
think that one is Viridian.
Viridian green, yeah, correct.
Only viridian is there.
Viridian, emerald, and sap green.
So let's try emerald with cerulean.
green. Okay.
I'm going to just make a wash of this. Our color would be something like yeah. I don't want to make it. I want to add more details, which is why I'm going to just do this as a wash. Here, if you, while it is wet, I would put a little more pigmented this thing on one side here. and one in the center. Okay, that's it. I'm just leaving it this way. It's very patchy. Okay, meanwhile, we can take our gray, which is our ubiquitous gray of burnt umber and ultramarine gray wash, and just add the shadows here. There's also a little bit.
Susan, are you putting up a recording of this later?
There is. Yeah, it is recording. Huh? Technically, it's recording.
Okay, because I have to leave now. So I'll
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
up with this later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Susan, I'll also be leaving in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank
Sure.
you so much, though. This is lovely.
Thanks. Yeah, this was great fun.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I'm just adding a few shadows here and there. Huh? It's only at the corners of certain things. Not required everywhere. I'm just looking at the picture and seeing where else I can see a little bit of a shadows here, definitely here at the border. Then little bit on this side, but I'm going to be careful that I don't touch the green. Anything else? Here. That's it. Now I'll go in with I think this is dry. Yeah. With the same thing, viridian, emerald green and cerulean blue. And let's add in details. Based on those pencil markings, I can see the pencil marking. I hope you can. So we have so the bottom lines of all these things are looking a little like bottom side and bottom are looking quite thin, whereas the top seems to have a shadow. So try to maintain that if you can, like make the top portion of every square a little thicker. And see like this over here, thicker. But when you're putting the rest of the detail, make it a little thin. Yeah. Same thing over here. Well, it is thin only, but there is some places can be a little darker. I think it's the same. Top only is a little thicker, but the rest of it is quite good. Oh, this is a curve. Sorry. And the door is not, I mean, it's got lots of these, it's not very, it's not straight lines and all that. So don't worry if let the lines be a bit wobbly. I think my mixture has gotten a little watery now. It's drying light. The bottom line. And then this part, I want to add in a little bit of a shadow. Okay. Because I can see the dark green here. Similarly, we have a vertical line here. just darkening the top. I don't know if this is something you all also find, like I very often end up making things too light. Then I have to invariably go in a second time and darken it. So worried I am that it will be too dark later. It won't.
Susan, what's the color you've used for the shadow?
Same thing, same color, just deeper with not a wash consistency. That's all. That is cerulean blue and emerald green.
Cerulean blue and green.
Emerald green.
Viridian.
Not viridian. I used emerald, but if you want to use viridian, use viridian. Whatever you used as the base wash, no? That same color,
Okay.
but more pigment. It's just that I
Okay.
added, yeah, I've just made it more deep. That's all. Nothing else. Okay. Now comes the part that I like, which is the dry brush. I would say take a little bit of the same thing that you're using, the dark shade that you're using. Dry brush, just dab it along, and let's try and create. Now I notice here these are the darkest lines, so this is still red. For the dry brush, the other thing I would recommend is holding your brush quite flat. Quite flat. I'm not using the tip of my brush. See? So if you use this the side of your brush, you're very likely to get lots of very jagged marks. And of course, the brush gets drier, of course. The more you do dry brush, the last few strokes will be the best. I wouldn't do much else to this, I would, in fact, we've not even done the extra part of the door, which is beyond it, like the beyond it, the wall. But this is good enough because of the combination of pencil, color, and watercolor. So,
Susan, I also have to leave. I'm going out now.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much for this class.
It's not a class as much as it was just fun, all of us getting together. Thanks.
Yeah. Chalo, see you soon.
See you.
Bye.
Do we have a 15-minute door that we can try? Maybe take a postcard. But this looks very pretty. Oh, Aditi's joined us too. So before class started, I was attempting the blue door, and it looked somewhat like this. This is with pen.
Very pretty.
But you will notice that the blue door doesn't, the proportion is gone completely off. Okay, so now let me show you the blue door. So my door has become a little wide. Okay, it should have been longer for the width. So these kind of things will happen, but this kind of stuff is fast. And this is the detail I was talking about earlier, is that you when you make it so small, you don't have to necessarily put in all this detail. I have done none of that. See over here, there is just a blue on all sides, and that's it. So I've kept it very basic. But on a travel page, it may look quite nice. Hi, Aditi. We have Aditi here joining us from somewhere.
Hi, I'm just very
Oh,
curious. I couldn't resist checking in on class. I don't need to completely. Just
Used to,
out of
but we're
curiosity.
not. We're
it's
doing all.
fun because we're
Doing all.
doing it together like old
Please stop.
times.
Very good. Cool. So I'm at the Museum of Christian Art. I've never been here. Very nice. Since I'm in Goa, and I thought today we have a free day. to Check that out. And I saw a door as always, and I thought, okay, we're still doing doors. I'll send some pictures of what I'm seeing over here. Okay, so that is it. Bye everyone. Carry on.
I enjoy.
Enjoy your time.
You all enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy.
All right.
Okay, Susan, I want to drop off now.
Want to draw what?
I want to drop off now. I'm almost sleepy. It's 1:18 now. I thought let me join this session today.
No, this was today was just fun. No, we were not doing anything serious. What kind of serious art we did? Look at this.
Yeah. I
Nothing.
thought let me be awake for some time and see.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Bye.
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 All right. Shall we do this quickly? See, the 15 minutes, huh? Now 15 minutes. Let's
I did it
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
wow, let's see. Shivani, let's see.
In the group. Oh, I put in the group.
Did you?
You have to see it. See.
Sorry, I didn't look. I put it on do not disturb, so I haven't got any updates.
No problem. I put it. I can't get the right blue, so I just used whatever blue I had.
Nice.
But it's looking nice. It's looking
It's really
nice.
nice.
It's all right. But I still wanted that blue. I just don't have it in my palette, and I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, is it? But we can't. Let's figure out the blue at least. If we've achieved nothing, let's just figure the.
Yeah, if we can achieve that blue, now I'll make it again with a different door if I need to. I just don't know how to get that blue. It's such a lovely blue.
Let's test a few blues. So one blue I'm thinking we should start with what is this? My absolutely gone shade. I don't have any more left of it. This is ultramarine. So definitely there is ultramarine in this, okay? Because it is not a warm color. Okay, so there is definitely ultramarine. Now, besides ultramarine, we have to figure out. I think maybe a dot of crimson, a dot. Just a dot.
Crimson, is it?
Because the moment you put more crimson, it's going to become purple. Okay, so I'm just playing around with a little bit of crimson. See, there you go. It's become a little purple. Let's see the color. No, looking very much purple. Okay, let's try another. Let's try cerulean. Now this is warm, so I don't actually, you know what? Not cerulean. Let's try cobalt blue. I think we have cobalt, right? All of us
Yeah,
have cobalt. But
I
still,
was actually playing with cobalt and
oh, you
then I
tried it.
gave.
I see.
I started on one corner, then I just said, forget it. I can't do it. Can't figure it out.
No, you can't. You have to figure it out. What is it? It can't boggle us
No,
so
but
much.
I just don't know. I'm still staring at it, thinking. I feel like it's got some brightness to it.
Yeah, some kind of a fluorescence.
Hmm.
What?
This is
Feels like a
complete.
fluorescence. Cobalt blue with ultramarine blue. Has anyone tried that? I have not tried ultramarine and cobalt or something.
I'm
Ultramarine.
thinking maybe it's cerulean blue and a little bit of crimson or scarlet, maybe.
No, scarlet will give you a brownish color, no? Everything's looking very similar. It's when you lighten it that you have to see. No. Sometimes it could be that we are looking at the color in addition to the yellow around it. So I'm just trying to play around. I'm just taking cerulean blue. No, sorry, ultramarine blue. And I'm going to put a little bit of. I have a color here on my palette called what's it called? The yellow that is after Gamboge.
Indian yellow.
Indian yellow, I think maybe. What is it? It's a very deep yellow. That's my point.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to see whether it will give me that effect when I put Indian yellow at the side. Probably closest, no? Looks like. I'm actually happier with the first one that I made. It looks the closest to what we have here. Let me try. Too big. A5 is too big. keeping this here, so. For the frame, it's correct. Then there is
Is there
one.
an app you can like point and recognize colors?
Say, Shivani, sorry.
Is there an app that can recognize colors? I said.
I am not
Seriously,
sure.
man, this one
Unless-
is such a lovely color, but I can't.
The only chance
not
is if
coming
a
to-
woman has actually done that, because you cannot rely on a man to do it. No chance. If there is a woman app developer who has done it, then that is possible.
Yeah.
If you are relying on men to create a color defining app, no chance. My husband and I can have these arguments so often about color. Eventually, now it's become like my children come and ask, "What is this color?" He'll be like, "Go and ask your mother."
So I went online just to look at shades of blue, and there I think I can find it. Lapis, it's called. I think it's like that. Let me send this.
Yeah,
Let's send it.
Have a little bit of a foliage branch here. It's going to be tricky because we have blue as well. But let's try. What's the harm in trying? Foliage against light background is easy, right? Because we can easily do it. Foliage against dark background, that is challenging. We have 2 marks over here, by the way. One here, one here, right? Yeah. Here, here. I think overall the door is okay. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah. We have some foliage different. This is all going to be easy. It's this part that I'm not sure about. Let's see. Hello. What was the color that we decided that I thought of was this? The other problem I find is that because we use our palettes, like we just mix our colors here, there, everywhere, I never get a clean color. So while I'm telling you this is ultramarine blue, this is my ultramarine blue. My ultramarine blue has got black in it, brown in it.
I think it's true with each one of us.
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous it is. I say one color, but
Yeah.
No, because I'm not trying to waste the previous color. So I
Yeah.
just start mixing everything, and then I've got some splodge right now in one of my palettes.
correct.
I will have to wash it at some point, but I'll try to still use it and make something out of it.
So when your color is not in itself is not a pure color or not in its purest form, I really don't know what we can say for the mixes we make.
Susan, I need to leave. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. We're almost done. I'm just finishing this up for because I started it.
Thank
That's
you.
it. Yeah, thanks
no,
for joining in today.
no, thank you, Susan. See you girls. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Shivani.
I know it's 11:01. I'm just going to finish this off in 5 minutes. Literally, give myself no time. The part that Aditi does so well. And I struggle for it. For the life of me, these washes. Are so challenging. So I'm using Indian yellow, which is already on my palette. But if you don't, Gamboge should be fine. Gamboge with a tinge of orange should do the trick. It's just a deeper Gamboge, honestly. It's not anything else. Yeah. Now the gray. I like this gray. Same. Our ultramarine blue, brown, burnt sienna, that is. And a wee bit of black. Really, my ultramarine blue is no longer ultramarine. Wash consistency, and I'm going to just apply it here. In fact, here I will apply it in splotches so that I get that feeling of shadows of the plant that is here, right? It's there in the picture, so I'm just kind of imitating that. A few splotches. Same thing on the other side. I'll try and do these kind of. This part won't worry. You don't have to worry too much because we already have the plant going over it. So don't worry too much about it. This is what I meant by lines. I'll make these lines so that you can proceed to do it on the wall as well, because the wall also has this. You know, the moment I touched the wall, a little bit of the yellow got onto the gray. So I have to make a little bit of gray differently. And this part, if you notice, I have drawn it in too thick. There isn't so much of a depth here in the picture, but those are the kind of liberties we can take. So we've taken it. That's it. Of this yellow here. There is some kind of a figurine there, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to just put the yellow. I'm going in with sap green and a little bit of yellow. I'm going to keep it side by side. Sap green and a little bit of the earlier yellow I used. Dip into one, dip into the other, and let's give it. Yellow, a little bit. Over here, I find that the yellow will be a little better because the shadow, sorry, the green leaves are exposed to the sun. Just dabbing a few. Touch of crimson. Not crimson. Yeah, crimson. Then I'm going to do after these basic leaves are in. I'm still using a sap green, by the way, for these leaves. There's a little bit of I'm using a little bit of the, what is it, that emerald green that we had? Just putting it mildly here because it's not looking the same as sap green. I just want to put in. Okay. Now one last thing. Into my sap green, I'm going to put a little bit of blue. Which blue? Ultramarine blue. Little bit of ultramarine blue into my sap green to make it darker. So I'm showing you the shade here. This is slightly darker than sap green. And this at a few places here is going to add the shadow we want. And some of the leaves here are quite dark. So this sap green with ultramarine blue is a nice way to add some depth to the leaves. Otherwise your leaves are all going to look sap green. You have sap green leaves, but you want the depth. So ultramarine blue and sap green should give you that depth. Only at a few places, this is very hard even for me, but we tend to overdo it completely. Now on the left side, you'll notice that the leaves are a little darker than the right side because it is the sunlight is not adequately there. So here you can have a little more of the dark green than the other side. Definitely some more here on this side. So that should do it. I think we are more or less done. I like a little bit of detail here. I can put in some motif happening here. Yeah. What am I missing? This there you go. The yellow here. There is a yellow here, and we are also missing a little bit of gray at the bottom. Okay. There's all sorts of gray. with that. You know how it's hard to stop? It's exactly what's happening to me right now. Funny way hard to stop. To stop. That's it. How are all of your, both of your doors looking?
I mean, this one I need to try again because I just started, but I'm really happy with the page.
It's just fun, no? That's the
Ah,
good thing about, that is the best part about doing these studies, you know, because at the
yeah.
end of it, even if you've got actually very lovely looks, super it is. I wish I had proportioned it enough and had this on the same page. It would have been so cool. Very
No,
lovely.
but yeah, I think I really loved it.
Fun, no?
Yeah, it was very fun.
What happens? It's fun.
And I loved it when you said, "Now we have nothing to lose." So when I experimented few things here and there anyway,
Totally.
we're not going to lose anything.
Nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Smaller is nice, you know. I somehow feel like in a day, during the time that we have, we end up with more things. Like as of that one thing, we spent 2 hours and done like one small little thing. That is also nice. There is no harm in it. But this
Yeah,
is
there's
very
no
like
harm.
you feel you feel like no pressure, zero pressure.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yes.
happened,
Nobody
happened.
is judging.
Yeah. But after 1.5 hours, it looks cute.
Yeah.
It
It
looks
looks
very
so good. Yeah.
yeah. Great fun. Thanks for hanging around, Ritika. Everyone else go off because we are well past 11.
Thank you
Thanks for
so much.
encouraging me. This was fun. I have a lot to learn. I can't do this. I'm not Aditi.
No, I think, more you would be engaging now. I think it would come naturally, Susan. Obviously, unless you don't come into that position, how would it happen?
I know. That's what she's saying. She's saying you're doing lives and all that. I said live is so different because I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
There is no one else asking me anything or what is this color, what is that color. I'm not also thinking that someone else may. I have to check what someone is asking. With a live, it's like, okay, talk to yourself and someone must be listening. So what, that way. So it's very different to have a Zoom call. And also gadgets. This is like if I show you my desk, it's got like laptop, this thing.
Yeah. So many
Then
devices.
it's like standing on a stage, in front of people. When you're a kid, you feel so scared. So many people.
No, I think let's keep experimenting this when she's not here. I think it will help you with the confidence, and we all will just keep chatting like this, making
Yeah.
more together.
I don't know, making progress, but when Aditi comes back, we won't be rusty. That's the only advantage. So she may come back and say, okay, you guys have really progressed to kindergarten level art, but not bad.
No, I think we are over exaggerating the situation.
No, but they've come out good, Susan. And the
Yeah.
thing is, only once you do it and you know the group. So that's why it's not like an unknown group, no? Unknown
Yeah.
group is a little scary.
That is definitely true. The other thing that I struggle with is time. See, time, sometimes when we are painting, we estimate that I painted in about 45 minutes. Okay. And I think that class will also take 45 minutes. Class will not take 45 minutes. So
It
that
takes
buffer,
more.
I get to learn. Get to learn that buffer bit.
But it's fine. Even it happens with Aditi's ma'am class also. I mean, she sometimes estimate, but then we go to another class also, taking some time because we estimate, but then we go into details and everything. So it's fine.
Correct. So that estimation is something that I have to learn. Like I have to okay, if you've done this and we are going to do this in class, and of course Aditi can do it on the fly. She can start painting what she has never painted before in class. which is not the
Yeah.
case with me. If I'm doing detailed work, I will definitely need to do it once. I'm
Yeah,
not in
yeah.
that stage where I can say, okay, chalo, come, let's just switch on the camera and try this part. So
You will reach there very soon.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. I think if anything, this whole like doing this a few times may help me get to that point where I can do more detailed stuff without prep
Hmm.
that way. That's the only thing that will happen. Today she told me, she said, don't do anything too detailed. Just have fun and do something light. So
Ah.
light is okay. That is less pressure for me. Still, I was like worried. How light? But anyway.
It was fun. It was really
Put
fun.
up these pictures on the group, Susan.
Yeah. I'll put. Definitely.
Yeah.
You all will
The
have
blue
more
one has come out pretty
lively-
nice.
Yeah, I'll share. Don't worry.
Come. Yeah.
Hello. See you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Ritika.
Bye bye.